Greetings, I'm Dev the Developer. In the last video, we talked about what HTML and CSS are. In this one, we're going to build something. We'll go from a blank file to a styled page with a heading and a paragraph, and we'll use Visual Studio Code's live preview so you can see every change as you make it. Every HTML document starts from the same base. This is the minimum a browser needs to recognize a file as a valid HTML page. Let's go through what each piece does. The first line, doctype HTML, it's a declaration, not HTML code. It tells the browser which version of HTML to expect. This declaration means HTML5, which is the current standard. Below that, HTML is a root element. You can kind of think of this as a tree. Everything on the page lives inside it, and like most HTML elements, it has an opening tag and a closing tag. The closing tag is the same name with a / in front. Inside the HTML tag, there are two sections. The head contains everything about the document, the title, links to style sheets, that kind of thing. It's not displayed on the page itself. The body is where all the visible content goes. If you open this in a browser right now, you'll see a blank white page, which is accurate. We haven't put anything visible in the body yet. By the way, if you don't save your HTML, the browser won't render what you've changed, so be sure to save. Now, let's go ahead and add something. The first thing worth adding is a title, the text that appears in the browser tab. The title element goes inside of the head section. Whatever text you put between the opening and closing tags is what the tab shows. After you save and refresh the browser, the tab updates to show the title instead of the file name. The title does not appear anywhere in the page itself. It's metadata. It will appear in your browser tab, but it's also what search engines use when they list your page in results. So it's worth getting it right, even if it feels like a small detail. Now, let's have some fun and do something that's going to actually appear on the page. We'll add a heading and a paragraph, both inside the body tag. The H1 tag is a heading. There are 6 heading levels between H1 and H6. H1 is the most important, the top level title of the page. Search engines pay attention to it, and you should only have one. The P tag is a paragraph. It wraps a block of text and adds some default spacing above and below it. It's the most common way to display text on a page. Save the file and refresh. You'll see both of those rendered in the browser. The heading is large and bold by default, the paragraph plain text. We could keep manually refreshing every time we make a change, but there's a better way. Visual Studio Code has an extension that shows a live preview of your HTML alongside your code. Any change you make updates the preview instantly, no refreshing. Press Ctrl-Shift-P to open the command palette. Start by typing HTML and you'll see the option appear, HTML Open Preview to the side. Go ahead and select that. Now the editor and preview are side by side. Make a change in the code and the preview updates immediately. We'll use this for everything from now on. Right now, the heading is plain black. Let's use a small amount of CSS to change that. Normally, CSS lives in its own separate file, but for this example, we'll write it directly inside the HTML. CSS embedded inside of an HTML file goes inside of a style tag, which goes inside the head tag. The syntax here is different from HTML. CSS has its own rules. H1 is a selector. It targets all H1 elements on the page. The curly braces hold the declarations that apply to whatever is selected. Inside the braces, color blue is one declaration. The property is color, the value is blue, and the semicolon marks the end of that declaration. Every declaration ends with a semicolon. That's how browsers know where one stops and the next begins. And that's the core pattern for every CSS rule you'll ever write. Selector, curly braces, property, colon, value, semicolon. For the first bit of this course, we're going to focus on HTML and ignore CSS entirely. Once we know our way around HTML elements, we'll start adding CSS, and that is when the magic really happens. In the meantime, don't just watch it, do it.